Hello. Welcome to this video. If you read the title, you already know what's going to be happening. I'm going to be attempting to write. I say attempting because that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I set a goal for myself at the beginning of the month that I want to read. Why read? That I want to write 10 pages this month, which sounds like very little, or maybe sounds crazy, but I'm currently working on a book. I have been working on this book for longer than I care to admit. Very slowly I have been working on this book, but I'm always very excited about this book, and then I just never end up working on it. And I have so many ideas. I've written so many ideas on like little scraps of paper and stuck them into the book that I'm writing this book in, because I'm writing this book by hand. Because I started writing this book when I was doing my writer's routine for Donna Tartt, and she writes all of her first drafts by hand. And so I decided to start writing this first draft by hand, and now I'm kind of stuck with writing it by hand because I kind of want to have the first draft all in one place, and I don't want to have it split with having like the first couple of pages in this book and then having to transfer it to my computer and then working from there onwards, and then you just have this little wisp of nothingness in the book forever. So yes, all that to say, I do want to write 10 pages this month in this book so that I can advance my story somewhat, at least. And I have a couple of days off of work coming up. And so I thought, what a good time to, instead of going down more rabbit holes on my computer and opening another 20 tabs on my internet browser that don't need to be open, I would take the time, or make myself actually sit down and work on this book so that I can feel like I'm actually writing something, because I don't think I've actually written anything this year. Actually, that's not true. I have written a little bit of something this year, but I have not written very consistently in a very long time, actually, since I moved to Germany, to be quite honest with you. And I'd like to get back into writing. And that's all. So, here's my intro. Now you know what's going to happen, and now we can go ahead and make that thing happen. Excuse the car noise. It is not the same day that I recorded this intro, because I'm a master procrastinator. That is one thing, if you haven't realized that about me yet. Have you ever even watched any of my videos? But now you know. I'm a very masterful procrastinator, but I have my book here in front of me now with all of my writings. Why do I have 16 pages of writing here? No, I don't actually, because it starts on page 9. So 7 pages. Not that I had written before. I haven't written anything yet. And a whole bunch of loose leaf notes here. And I just discovered, while I was going through my notes app on my iCloud, that actually I have made notes for this book on my phone, which most likely I did while I was at work in my break time, not like while I'm supposed to be actually working. During my break time, I probably had a brainwave and decided that I needed to write something down for this book, so which I've done. But that also means that now I do have stuff for this book in 2 different places, which either means I'm going to have to transfer the stuff that I've written on my computer, or on my phone, but I'm looking at it on my computer, onto a loose sheet of paper and then stick it in to my physical book, or I'm just going to leave it there until I get to a part where I want to insert the sections that I've written here. I'm sorry for the car noise, but it's warm again today and I've got all my windows open. I'm going to read through what I've written here, or at least the last couple of pages, just to find where I was in the story. And then I'm going to see if I can insert at least one of these sections from my notes. Of course my battery died. The part that I have here on my computer is... Sorry, I'm just setting up my batteries to charge. The part that I have on my computer, or one of the sections, feels like it would fit in quite early into the book, and sort of around this part where I am now, because kind of everybody's being introduced now. Not everybody, but like a lot of the people, and I'm still setting the scene of the place that we're at. And I just read through this section, and I must say, I did intend to make the main character of this book quite judgmental. She's a very judgmental person, this main character. But she's quite severe in this section that I wrote here. She's not going to be this judgmental all of the time, because I think that would just get annoying to read. But sometimes she has these little flashes of vanity, judgment, and I must say I find it very entertaining to read. But it is also my own it's my sense of humor that I've written this in, which I know not everybody shares. So I hope at least some people will find it entertaining. But that's the plan for the afternoon. It's already 4 o'clock. I did mean to start writing far earlier in the day. However, I did get distracted by other things again. Sometimes I get distracted and then I think it's going to be like a 5-minute distraction. And then I look at the clock again and 2 hours have gone by. I'm having a fabulous time writing, but sadly I'm going to have to interrupt myself at this point in time to go and make my dinner, because it is 6:30. Is it 6:30? Let's just go out of the big screen, exit full screen. Almost 6:30. And I would like to eat soon because I'm starting to get hungry. And then I will probably watch a series or something for the rest of the evening. And then come back to writing some more tomorrow. I have written 4 pages this afternoon, which sounds like a lot, but remember that I am writing this all by hand and in an A5 book, so it's probably not actually as much as it sounds like. But it has gone actually very quickly. I was sort of dreading it before I started because I thought, I didn't really know where to go from the point that I stopped last. And so I sort of had to just read through a couple of parts of that I had already written to reacquaint myself, and also read through my notes to see what I had here and what I could add. But I'm happy with how it's going now, and I've stopped at a part where I know that the next thing I want to add is this sheet of notes. So that's good, so that I know that I will have a kickoff point, whatever, for when I return tomorrow, and then I will probably just continue writing from there on for a couple of more pages. This note is like back and front here, and will probably take up the next 2 pages, which will mean that if I only write this still tomorrow, I will have written 6 pages. And my goal for the month was to write 10 pages, so I'm very well on my way to achieving that goal. I might even achieve it in this reading blog, which would be great. And then that means that if I do end up writing more later on in the month, or after I stop filming, I guess, I will surpass my goal of writing 10 pages. Wouldn't that be lovely? I'm happy with my progress for today. I'm gonna go make myself some dinner, and then tomorrow morning I'm going blueberry picking with my sister, which I might take you along for briefly if I remember. But don't hold your breath, because I do often intend to film things when I go out, and then I end up forgetting in the heat of the moment. But I'll try and remember. I don't know how interesting blueberry picking is to watch, but I'll see. Maybe it will be interesting. Anyway, so good night from me for now, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Hello, people. I bet you didn't expect to see me at this angle. You're looking all the way up my nose. Wow, my cheeks are really red. I'm here in this angle because I'm exhausted. I got back from work maybe, an hour and a half ago? Is that even right? Can I even maths? Yes, that is right. And I literally had to stop halfway home from work, because I cycled to work and back every day. I had to stop halfway and just sit on a bench and eat something, because I genuinely felt my blood sugar just going all the way down. I am so tired after work today, and I don't know why, because it wasn't even a particularly taxing day, but for some reason I've just not got any energy today. But anyway, there wasn't I meant to do the intro to this clip differently, but anyway, it is indeed Wednesday today. The last time I spoke to you was Saturday. I did not film any clips, as you can tell, going blueberry picking, because indeed we did not go blueberry picking in the end, because it's just some like just plans changed
But we did end up going swimming, my sister and I. And I took my writing things along with me to the swimming pool, and I wrote a couple more pages, 2.5 more pages. Whoa! And yeah, so I did a little bit of more. Even my brain is not working anymore. A little bit more writing at the poolside. But you're not allowed to film or take pictures at the pool because of respecting other people's privacy, and mostly also like child protection, I guess. Yeah, so you're not allowed to take any pictures at the pool or film, take videos or whatever. I mean, you are allowed, like, if there's nobody else in the background, essentially. But there was it was a full house. It was packed on Sunday because it was so warm and sunny and beautiful. It's a Sunday, obviously, so literally almost everybody has the day off work, unless you work in a restaurant or at a petrol station. So it was full. So I did not film anything, but I did write. So I'm now on 6.5 pages of my 10-page goal. I'm going to spend a little bit of time now, this afternoon, still writing. I know sort of where I ended on Sunday. And when I was busy writing on Sunday, I still had ideas for the immediate next thing to happen in that scene. So I want to write those things down while it's still in my brain, even though it is 3 days later. But first, I'm going to go to the shops. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. Well, actually I do. I'm gonna walk, but like, wow. I think it's gonna take me twice as long to walk there and back as it usually does because of my lack of energy. To go and buy some fruit. I want to go buy some peaches because I'm about to eat my last peach. And some bananas and some snacks. And yeah, just want to go buy something. So thank you for joining me at this very strange angle. The next angle you see will be more normal. Hello from yet another day. Another lovely day to write some nonsense in my book. I think this is going to be my last day of the writing vlog. Well, I don't think, I know this is going to be the last day because I'm telling myself it's going to be the last day because I've been drawing this out for way too long. But I've written 7 pages and my goal was 10 pages. As I have told you several times throughout this video,
So which means I still need to write 3 more pages. And those 3 pages better happen tonight. They better happen tonight. So, without further ado. Is it ado or adieu? Every time I say without further ado, and then I hear myself say it back, I just think, am I an idiot? Is it without further ado? It probably is. So without further ado, here we go. Oh gosh. I don't even know what I was writing anymore. Because it's been a week. Well, friends, I did indeed finish my goal of writing 10 pages today. In fact, I overshot my goal. I read? Did I just say read before as well? I'm so used to saying read instead of write or wrote. I wrote almost 11 pages. So, you know, it's not like I overshot by a country mile or anything here. But I wanted to end again on a place that felt like a natural ending to the thought that I had in my mind, and also a place where I know that if I just read like the previous 2 pages of writing again when I pick this up again in the future, I would be able to get back into the flow of things and remind myself sort of where the story has to go next. So I'm very happy with that. My goal was to write 10 pages this month. I've written 10 pages this month, and it's not even the end of the month. It's like, what's today, the 23rd? Today is the 23rd. So I still have 7 days left of this month in which to write more, should I choose to do so. Hopefully I will actually do some writing next week and not just fall down more internet rabbit holes like I have been doing for the whole past 2 months. Specifically one very specific internet rabbit hole. But I'm having fun falling down this rabbit hole, but it's so long. This rabbit hole seems never ending. Every time I think I found the end, I find more things relating to this topic. And hopefully, at one point in the future, you will actually see the fruits of the labor that will come of... Wow, why so dark? Why so dark all of a sudden? Camera, hello? Lighting change, hello. Maybe, hopefully, at some point in the future. Hopefully not too distant. Into the future, you will see the fruits of the labor that is going to come from falling down this rabbit hole. But I don't want to say anything about it, for in case it doesn't come off, and for in case somebody else gets there before I do, which is sort of already happening, but also not really, because it's in a different format. But anyway, I can't say anything more because I don't want to jinx myself. That was not the point of this whole outro. Thank you for coming along on this writing journey with me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Feel free, I should have said this at the top of the video, but feel free to use this as a sort of body doubling situation where while I'm writing, you're writing, or while I'm writing, you're reading, while I'm writing, you're busy doing your chores, maybe you're mending some clothes, maybe you're ironing, I don't know. If you want to use this as a body double situation, feel free. I will see you again next week with another video. Goodbye.